Welcome everybody to A Little Perspective. My name is Pranav and I'm joined with my co-host Nikhil. And today, for part 2, we have Ben Tingley here with us. And for people who are new listeners and new watchers, we've actually had Ben on our podcast before as well, and who are tuning in for the first time. Ben is a local CEO here in Regina, Saskatchewan of a company called Bravo Tango. It's a full-fledged marketing and advertising agency. And it's going to be an amazing conversation. And for today, we're going to keep it marketing and advertising agency focused. So it's going to be a pretty niche episode. So for people who are trying to get into that business, learn more about it, we've got the perfect guy to talk about it. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again. Round 2.
I know, man.
Love
I'm pretty
it.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, we ran into Evolution and I was like, I think this is a perfect sign that gotta get Ben on again.
Yeah, ran into you at the gym and
Yeah.
both trying to keep fit outside of hours, right?
100%, man. So
Yeah.
how's everything been with you besides the business?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Life's good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, summer's winding down and fall's upon us. And
Yeah,
Right.
that's awesome. Sorry, I'm gonna grab my water bottle.
But yeah, so Ben, today what I was thinking is we have a few questions.
yeah.
And the reason why we wanted to do the second part is because the business that you're actually in is super competitive. It needs a lot of hours. It's very creative, very hard to survive in it. And people like us who don't, studied at the U of R, where we see marketing as a major, it doesn't give you the full idea of how marketing and advertising actually works. And you who's been in the weeds, been in the trenches, I feel like there's no other person I would rather talk to for actual advice than reading books about it, because that can, of course, give you so much information.
That's the thing. You got your textbooks that tell you how it's supposed to work, all the theories.
Right.
But until you do it and get into the trenches and get your hands dirty,
100%.
it's a completely different world. Yeah.
Right.
So, coming into that, what advice would you give to a marketing student who's studied theories at university, who's maybe done some presentations, starting out his own marketing agency, right? What advice would you give to that person?
Like right out of school, you're gonna start an agency, start knocking on doors, start volunteering in the community, get to know people. A lot of what we do is relationship based. It's who you know. But that's life advice I give to every student when I do talks at the university or wherever. Like, the sad truth to the world we live in is it's who you know. So you can have the most polished and well-looking resume, but the guy you're competing with for that job might know this person because they volunteered with him on a community event, or their neighbors or family. Guess what? They've already got a leg up on you.
Right.
And it's like that for everything.
So how do you build that network? Because a lot of students, they don't really know where to start. Because say for example they're freshmen. University is an overwhelming experience because of course everybody goes to class, but you see people in Hill JDC West and Hill Marketing Association and all those places.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what do I choose? Where do I start? Who do I talk to?
Well, that's it though. They're starting.
Right.
So the people on JDC West or the Hill Marketing Association, there's a dozen of them, 15. Meanwhile, there's 3,000 other students not on those. So these 12 already have a leg up. And they're just little notches here and there. You volunteer for this organization, that's one notch, check. You go to a community event, check. It's just about getting out there and doing that and being consistent and persistent and just not giving up, and just have patience and building your network. And if you're at home, sitting in your living room, just scrolling on your phone while the other person's out there getting to know people, shaking hands, learning about people's lives and stories, that person's way ahead of you.
Right.
Right. So, when you get into, as a student, if you go to a networking event, how should you approach somebody? What advice would you give to them?
Just approach them, introduce yourself, ask them about their life, what they do they enjoy their business, their career, how'd they get into it. People love to talk about themselves, so you start asking them about their life, they're going to remember you. Oh, that's that student that I had a great conversation with them.
Right.
Next time they see you, they probably have another conversation. Then the third time, and guess what? Now when you're ready to apply, whose face are they going to remember? Whose personality? It's yours, not the person that just submitted a blank resume without any introductions or meeting them.
Right.
And I think you and I can relate to that too, right? Like from our past experience, and I'll get back to like how that relates to you as well. But I'll give like 2 examples. So this was 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were part of, I think it was Cocktails and Connections. Like it was an early event from the Hill Business Student Society. Shout out to Hill BSS, and they hosted like a bunch of leaders and students to get together for like cocktails and like
Yeah.
networking basically. That's where we actually met Mike Tate. Shout out Mike Tate. And
Yeah.
so like Nikhil and I just started a conversation. Like I think he commented about like about his sneakers or something because he's a sneakerhead, right? So he was like, "Oh, I really like your shoes," and he was the only guy who had a full on like suit and like dress pants and everything and Jordans
Nice.
under it.
Yeah.
So he stood out in everything.
Yeah.
And that's like like you start up a conversation, and well, how you mentioned as well, like the way that you hire people, and we were talking about this in our pre-podcast meeting as well, is that you of course care about the technicalities of like are they qualified, do they have the requirements or everything, but you make sure that their personality fits Bravo Tango.
1,000%.
Right.
Yeah. I'll like a resume or a portfolio or like showing me your technical skills, that'll get you through the door, but that's it. To get into the living room or the actual company, you need the personality, you need the values that match our company values.
Right.
And every company and organization is different, but I know what we stand for and what makes us tick at the core. And so when I'm doing round 2 of interviews and round 3 sometimes,
Right.
3 rounds?
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
Damn. Sounds like
But it's
finance.
you start with like 6 or 8. Round
Yeah.
2, now you're down to okay, let's revisit these 3 or 4 people. Round 3, it's like okay, I think it's this person. I want to have one more conversation with them. And like sometimes I'll have one of my directors join me, and they're asking the technical stuff because they want to know that this person can do the job, do it well, do it right. And I'm sitting there observing, asking like the weird, quirky, fun questions, and
Right.
everyone laughs, whether it's nervous or at me,
Yeah.
whatever. But I know what I'm doing, and I'm
Right.
getting to know this person. I want to see how they respond to some,
Right.
some specific questions of mine. Are you going to fit in with our company, with our colleagues?
So how technical do your questions actually get? Like what kind of positions require like a lot of technical knowledge when it comes to a field like yours?
Well, all the positions. Here's the thing though. I think if you hire the right person, you can teach them the technical skills after.
Right.
But the reverse isn't the same. Like
You can't teach character.
you can't teach character, you can't teach values. Like, at this stage in the game, when you're a young adult, you've already got your values set.
Right.
Your character's set.
Part of
Like,
it.
I'm not going to change that.
So if you were to list 3 values that you like put up on priority, that this person has to have these 3 values to be a part of Bravo Tango, what would they be?
Well, the big one for me is the golden rule. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Like that by far is the number one thing for me. Like, and that's all about respect and hard work, and you get what you put in. Like, all those are important to me, and
How do
just
you-
like friendliness
Right.
too. Like,
Right.
life is short. Just be nice. Like,
How do you catch that in interviews though? Because and trust me, like I'm no hate to people, but like, let's be real. People put a front, like they want to show their best self in the interview, right? So that treat others how you wish to be treated, that wouldn't happen unless you're in that situation helping people out.
Yeah,
How do you
but-
catch that in interviews?
I think you got to go off your instinct a little
I
bit,
see.
and when you're talking with people, you get a sense.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, just when I met you guys, I got a sense right away that you're
Right.
good people, you've got some good values.
Right.
I was willing to further the conversations
Right.
and meet again, like
Hmm.
And when you ask some questions, you just learn about somebody's life. You can tell what kind of person they are.
And maybe because you're like much wiser and older than us, you've been around more people. Because me
Possibly,
personally, like,
yeah.
it's hard for me
Yeah,
to tell
no,
right now.
you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
You go around the block a few
Yeah,
times
yeah.
and you learn things. But it's also too about leadership. Like as the leader here, I have to set the pace. So if I'm not treating others as I wish to be treated, I don't expect your employees to,
Right.
right? If I'm coming in late, don't expect your employees to come in early.
True.
Right? If I'm going to take Friday off to go golfing, be prepared as a leader for your staff. Oh, they didn't show up today? Oh, well, you didn't, so why should we? So if I'm going to set the values, then yeah, I expect my team to as well, but it starts at the top.
Right.
So what would be the other two?
Oh man, I just listed off a whole ton. But I mean, I value hard work, professionalism,
Right.
the golden rule,
Mm-hmm.
respect.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So all the people who want to join Bravo Tango, listen to this interview.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean,
100%.
you know.
If not, Ben will filter you out easily.
Yeah. Won't make it to round 2.
So Ben, what I'll do is Nikhil and I came up with like a few solid questions based
Yeah.
on like different segments of this agency and like this field itself. And we'll start off with starting and surviving. So Nikhil and I will alternate from different questions. I'll ask one, he'll ask the other,
Sure.
and we'll just start ripping through them. So what's one thing that nobody tells you about starting an agency that almost broke you as a leader?
Oh man. A few things. How competitive it would be. The cost of salaries. All the hidden costs. You have no idea how many hidden costs there are. You think it's just, I need a salary, a rent, and then we're good to go. There's just layer after layer after layer. of
Anything
stuff.
you'd like to share, or is that like you keep it under wraps?
No, it's just like when you hire a new staff,
Yeah.
you think, okay, we got a new person. Well, they need a computer, they need a desk, they need, you got to hire the IT to set all their email up, and they send you a bill, and it's like, oh wow, it just cost me $5,000 to hire one person. Like,
And then benefits and like other compensations on
then
top
there's
of that.
benefits,
Yeah.
and then like you don't really think about this on day one, but 17 years later, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, okay, obvious now, but I want to be a competitive employer, so I have to offer benefits. Okay, well, those cost me X amount a month, and I never really planned for that, but staff want to raise families, so they need dental, they need health and life insurance and all that stuff. Yeah, so I mean, that's another hidden cost you don't really think about.
Plus Canada's like notorious for taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And another thing I never thought about, and this is tough, and I mentioned salaries, but like, I'm competing with like, not just other agencies, but other organizations and government that like can afford to pay quite a bit of money to staff. And I'm just like...
And also that agency is part of a bigger, like it's an umbrella. It's like your thing is like your own entity. But like from what I've seen, like other organizations, that's just a part of their business that they do other things as well.
Yeah.
Right. So that makes it probably even harder.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we
kudos to you,
do
man.
one
Yeah.
thing, marketing
Yeah.
and advertising.
Right.
And some of our clients do internal marketing and advertising, but they also do, A, B, C, and D
Right.
to sell their widgets. And so like there's multiple departments there, right? So yeah, we're one service provider.
100%.
Yeah.
So do you find that to be like a huge challenge that you're competing against these big agencies?
Yeah. Yeah, for salaries, because it's tough to keep up.
Right.
And what I'm seeing now is a lot of our clients, well, we'll just hire our own person to do the work that you do. So we're competing with clients building their own internal mini agencies, if you will.
Right. But when you say competition, you're still sustaining, you're still powering through.
Yeah.
You're still like that top dog, basically, that
Yeah.
underdog who's like, coming out stronger, even though people doubt you and everything.
Yeah.
And hey, lo and behold, people are still sticking with you.
Yeah.
And we see on your Instagram and everything. And to be honest, like I've known you personally, I've seen the business, I've seen people
Yeah.
over here. For sure, Instagram is like all a facade sometimes, but you guys are so authentic that I know for a fact it's the same smiles that's on screen, that's also off
Yeah.
screen. So how do you make that happen?
Well, so speaking of values, another one of mine is be genuine and authentic. So like I wear my heart on my sleeve and I do what I say I'm gonna do. And so it's the same with our socials. And we have a staff who started earlier in spring, I think March she started. And she said to me the other day, she's like, I've watched your socials, and the one thing I wanted to know in real life and in person, is this what it's really like?
Exactly.
And she goes, and it is. And that made me pretty proud to hear that. Like, so what you see is what you get with us. And that's another thing I value quite a bit.
All right. How much money does someone really need to survive the first year?
Well, that depends on what your needs are. Like, I remember when I first started, I drove a manual Honda Civic hatchback, no power steering. But you know what? It got me from point A to point B to the office in the morning and back home. I've seen one of my competitors, year one, driving a pretty fancy Mercedes. You know, I don't imagine what the lease on that was, probably over $1,000 a month.
Shit.
So it's, you know, it's your priorities, right?
Excuse me. Thanks.
So my competitor in that moment would need quite a few extra dollars than I would, because I'm willing to live on the basics, if you will. So there's that, what your needs are and what your priorities are.
Right.
Staff, if you're gonna hire staff out of the gate, well, you need to pay for their salaries, right? I started on my own, so I was willing to have a pretty low salary. So, but again, I've seen some competitors who think, you know, you're just starting, but all of a sudden you think you're this like 20-year operating CEO that needs six figures, and it's like, it's not how starting a business works.
Right. So when you first started, did you just took all your savings and put it into the business, or when you started you were also doing a job to pay the bills?
I was doing a job to pay the bills. I didn't start the company until I knew I had a project to pay for that first month. So there's a bit of faith there too. Okay, I've got the first project and the first month is taken care of, and maybe the first 2 months.
Right.
So where the faith comes in is there's going to be a second project when this one wraps.
Right.
And there was.
Because you trust your work, you know, for a fact that you're going to put in the hours, you're going to make shit happen.
Yeah,
And the
but
second
once
project
I
is
had that first project, I was willing to launch.
Yeah.
And you know, while you're working on it, and you know, you're getting some bills and invoices sent out, that's when you start, you know, okay, well, who's going to be the second project?
Right.
Who do I know in my network? Am I knocking on doors? But you're planning ahead, right? You always got to be thinking about tomorrow.
And you know, I love what you said about like you started from humble beginnings. Like you didn't just go out buy a Mercedes or something. And there's this quote that Nikhil and I think I know who told it, one of us probably, but it's you buy shit you can't afford to impress people you don't like.
Yeah, I've seen that quote before.
Right, 100%. And I think that stands true. Like everybody likes the idea of that fancy life that, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. But again, like those are the people whose businesses are getting bankrupt, or like, you know, they start something new, they start a new venture.
Yeah.
But sticking to your things, I feel like you really need to know your roots and know how hard it is, because there's always a trade-off. There's always an opportunity cost. You can't have luxury and like hard work at the same time. One comes after the other, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, awesome. So how many hours a week do you actually work to keep it alive? And what does that cost you personally?
Well, right now, I mean, 17 years later, I'm happy that I've built a business where I can now do Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. I don't really have to come in on weekends anymore. My evenings, you know, I bring my laptop home just out of habit, but often it just stays in my bag. But I have it just in case.
Right.
The thing is, though, for an entrepreneur or business owner or leader, physically I'm in the office Monday to Friday, but my brain never shuts off. And that's the one thing they don't tell you either as a business owner or entrepreneur. Your brain is always going, like 24/7. And that's the thing that...
In what sense? Like if we could
You're
get in
always
your brain,
thinking
what are you
about-
thinking about?
Thinking about the business, thinking about staff, thinking about projects, thinking about clients, prospects, thinking about the power bill, thinking about just anything and everything that has to do with the business. Your brain is just constantly turning.
And even if you try it doesn't go off?
No.
Really?
No. And in this business too, where we build ideas here.
Right.
At an advertising agency, our product is ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Brain's always on, thinking about, oh, this client has this challenge. Oh, here's a solution. Like, okay, I gotta write that down. Or I email myself easily 5 times a day, so I don't forget that idea. Like it could be 8 o'clock at night or raking the leaves or whatever, and it's I gotta stop, email myself. Okay, back to what I was doing. But it's constant.
Right. You know how there's two philosophies on this idea that, hey, either you work 100 hours a week, hustle, just putting your life into it, or there's the idea that, hey, work less, work smart. There's this book from, I think, Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Work Week. Like, what do you have to comment on those two philosophies? Which one works?
Yeah, well, in the early days, you got to hustle. Absolutely. And I wouldn't want to be the guy working 4-hour work weeks and my competitors working 80 hours. Holy shit, the competitor will win. Like that 80 hours, they're building proposals, they're knocking on doors, they're thinking about their clients. I don't know how you do all of that in 4 hours. Maybe I need to read his book, but I would not want to compete with somebody who's willing to put in 80 hours a week.
Might also depend on like the industry as well. What if that industry only requires 4 hours? Because from what I can hear, yours fucking doesn't.
No.
No, I don't think so.
But like, here's the thing too about being a leader and having a team work with you. And this might come up in one of your questions too, but at 5 o'clock, your staff, they shut off. They want to go home. They want to be with their family, go to the gym, go to a movie, go hit the driving range. The list is forever, but they don't want to be at work. And as the business owner, you got to accept that and expect it.
Well, I feel like that's why, and trust me, again, this is going to come out wrong, but help me find the right words. That's what they're the staff and you're the business owner. Otherwise, everybody would be a business owner if they had that drive, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, it's not a lot of, they have drive.
Yeah.
But they have priorities. And it's like, sorry, Ben, Bravo Tango's not my priority. My family is.
Right.
Or my golf game is.
Right.
Or like, I need to lose 20 pounds and build some muscle. That's my priority right now, my health.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also
work comes second. And I'm okay with that. I understand it. I respect it.
It's human nature.
And I support it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's another reason why a lot of business owners and leaders fail. It's because they assume their staff love the business like they do. It's like, no, I'm here to get a paycheck. I'm happy it's a cool place. I'm happy you're a nice leader. I'm happy you allow us to succeed and you build this environment.
Right.
But I'm out of here at 5 o'clock. And don't email me on the weekend because it's my weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And if I start, hey, I need this, I need that, they'll be like, screw you. I'm going to go find a job where I can retain my personal life.
Right. Well, because at the end of the day, like, this is your product. This is your baby.
Yeah.
Bravo Tango's your responsibility, right?
Yeah.
So if, suppose you have a kid, and if he does something, that's your responsibility to correct it, right?
He does.
Not somebody else's, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's my responsibility.
Yeah. Okay, so before I move into like the next segment, for like, like you mentioned, like now it's been easier for you, but let's rewind back 11 years, 10 years. How long has it been for Bravo Tango?
17.
17, holy shit. So 17 years. How did the first initial years of your working hours look like? How long were you in the office? Because like all the students that are waiting to get a reality check that it's, oh, I'll just fly through it. I'll just start my own
thing. Well, the reality check is you're in the office, and if you don't have a project to work on, then you better start finding one. So there's some work to do, right? And sometimes it's both.
And how do you find it? Where do you look for it?
Well, again, back to our first discussion is about networking and who you know, right? And I knew a lot of people, so I met with a lot of people, and they like you, they want to support you, they find out you launched a business. Oh, okay, well, I can send some people your way. Oh, I know somebody who who needs this? I'll send them your way. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. That's how the business started.
Awesome.
And
Like, sorry, go ahead.
how did you find these people? Like, did you go to networking events, or like, did you know people, or?
Yeah, so the funny story is, and I'll try and keep this short, I was working in another industry, it's like similar overlap,
Right.
but I was yearning for something else. So I volunteered for the Canada Summer Games back in 2005.
Right.
And I volunteered on the planning committee, and they put me on the marketing committee. And I remember speaking up at one of the meetings, and I threw out this idea, why don't we do this to promote the games coming? And after the meeting, this guy pulled me aside and said, that was a good idea. I work in an ad agency, and we're actually looking to hire. You should submit your resume. It's like, okay. So it was my initiative to volunteer my time in the community that got me this job in an ad agency. And when I was at that ad agency, that's when I realized, I kind of like this. I'm good at it. And I'm, an entrepreneur at heart, so maybe I can make something out of this. And so it all started with who I know. And then the people I met at the games became future clients. It's all connected.
Right.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So perfect. So moving on to our next segment. So this is the dark side of agencies. Now my first question is, what's the ugliest truth about working with clients that you wish more people knew?
Well, in our industry, the tough thing is you have to have thick skin.
In what sense?
Like, everything we do is criticized. And if you take that to heart, or your feelings get hurt easy, you won't last long.
And you think that happens, like people get butthurt a lot?
Oh yeah, all the time. And it's a stressful industry, so you're under pressure, stressed to get something out. Everything's last minute in a rush for some reason in our industry.
Right.
And you put your heart and soul into this product, this design, this idea, and you present it to the client. You're excited, but you're stressed about it. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't like that. Start over. And it's like, oh, well, that kind of sucks.
So how do you handle stress? Because man, like every time I've seen you, you've like had this jolly personality. You're always smiling.
Yeah, well,
What's your thick skin? Like, how did that happen? I've never seen you.
I don't know,
I've never seen you stressed. Is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe it's my personality. I bottle a lot of the stress up, to be
Is that
honest,
it?
and sometimes it comes out in weird blips or points in my life. Like, I was dealing with some stress, and some anxiety this past summer actually, and I think my stress just finally boiled over.
How does it come out? Like what ends up happening?
Poor sleeps, loss of sleep, to be honest. My mind's going and racing and overthinking.
Okay.
And I mean, that's just step one of a domino effect.
Yeah.
Poor sleep leads to a poor day, leads to poor health, and it's not good.
How do you come back?
Exercise. Like, honestly, some of the best medicine is the sun and exercise. Like.
And you're swimming?
Swimming laps, and you got nothing to do but just, there's nobody emailing you, texting you, phoning you, nobody asking for this or that. You're just you and yourself lifting weights or swimming laps. Like, it's just, I find that really therapeutic. Friends, reach out to your peer group, share stories, get out, talk about anything but work. If you have a family, I mean, there's your number one dose of medicine right there is,
Right.
your family cares about you, so surround yourself with them. There's ways to manage stress, but sitting in your room by yourself, bottling up even more is not the answer.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
How were the initial years for you? Because back then when you just started, like, the stress must be through the roof, right? And you didn't know how to manage stress back then.
Yeah, but the same answer. Like, you just learn to manage it, but you have to learn to manage it proactively.
Right.
And back to that question and how long do you work? When you're not working 9 to 5, like, I remember I must have been out 2-3 times a week in the evenings, going to events, going to dinners, going to like community this, community that. Like, it's more than 9 to 5. That's why on that Saturday, oh, I'm going out again tonight. I got this event to go to, or I bought tickets to this event. I got to go. And I mean, it got to the point where my wife was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stay home. You go by yourself." I go.
Did the entrepreneurial life cause any issues in your personal life, like family wise? Like, did your wife always support you, or was she like,
Oh,
you were
no,
always
she's
out or
always
something
very
like
supportive.
that? Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
And when I started the business, my son was just born.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, now's the time. Like, I don't want to start a brand new business, you know, when he's 10 and needs hockey skates or, you know, equipment for this sport and he's got to go to this event and this sport and this activity. And it's like, that's a busy life, raising a family. Now's not the time to start a business. So that's when I was like, okay, it's either now or never.
Right.
Do you think having a kid motivates you to work even harder? Because now you have to pay bills.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. But like, family,
Right.
Not just the kid, but your entire family, but staff too. They rely on you to bring in new clients and keep the business profitable because they have bills to pay too. They have families. They have a life, right? And if I'm not doing my job, and all of a sudden
Everybody
clients
gets-
stop coming, then they're like, "Oh, great, Ben. Now I got to go find work somewhere else or find another job that pays me more." Or so it's like, as the leader, as the founder. So if you're thinking about starting a business, there's going to be a lot of people relying on you. You better be ready to wear that and step up to the challenge.
So it's a heavy burden to bear.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, you heard that saying, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown"?
No, I've never heard that.
Sorry, can you
Yeah.
repeat that?
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's like you just said, it's
Right.
being at the top sounds fancy, but it's a burden.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people relying on you.
There's a book by Simon Sinek. It's called Leaders Eat Last.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically on this idea that back in the caveman times, when the leaders went out to hunt,
Mm-hmm.
they hunted for the community, right?
Yeah.
So they would make sure that everybody in the community ate before they had their meal.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you're taking responsibility for everybody.
Yeah.
So you're gonna suffer.
I agree with that 100%.
Right.
I've never read that book, but I just assume by the title of it that I got the gist of it.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't read
So
it
I
either.
don't know.
Okay, so how cutthroat is the competition between agencies? Have you ever had a deal sabotaged or stolen because of the competition?
No, it's highly competitive, like very competitive. But there's nothing like in the movies where you're getting sabotaged or someone's like slashing your tires so you can't get to the meeting on time. Like, we're all professional and
Yeah.
kind of friendly competitors, to be honest.
Right.
But there's been a few things where I'll catch wind that a competitor's knocking on my client's door or saying, "Hey, you know, you want to do business with us?" And like, I'm friends with a lot of our clients, or I've known them for so long that, you know, we're actual partners. So I'll get a text or an email every once in a while saying, "Hey, check out who just emailed me." And I'm like, "Duh," you know, but that's pretty nice of my client to reach out to me like that. Like, that goes to show, you know, a true friendship, partnership.
And I think that goes a long way as well, is that building that long-lasting relationship. It's not just an account in your books, or it's not just another number in your
Yeah.
phone. It's a human being. It's
Yeah.
a person, and you know, like, you're helping their business, they help you.
Yeah,
It's like that. It's more than just business in the end, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So Ben, in the same segment, where do agencies fail their clients the most?
In this industry, in our town, in our province, I see a lot of bait and switch.
What does
which
that
is
mean?
brutal, and I hate that. So a competitor will go to a prospect or a client and say, you know, like the CEO or somebody at the top will go into the pitch presentation and work their darndest to get the business. Then as soon as they get it, you don't see them ever again. And they put another team on the account or a junior or hire a freelancer to do it. So they come in, tell you one thing, get the business, and then boom, poof. It's a complete opposite. Happens a lot.
And you're saying that's not like an uncommon thing. That's
I wouldn't say it's common. I've
Oh, okay.
just seen it happen, and
right.
it's kind of brutal, but
That's fair. Perfect. So moving into our next segment about people and leadership, which I feel like you'd be the expert to ask about this. Now, before I move into like the weeds of that question, I feel like this is something that we've talked about in our pre-podcast meeting, which I would love for you to talk about again. Who do you absolutely not want on your team in business?
yeah, I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but somebody who doesn't share the company values and doesn't abide by the golden rule, and I mean, if they have opposite values of their colleagues and the company, they're going to be toxic, if you will.
100%.
Yeah.
So just an expansion on that question. So suppose you hired somebody who's not fit for the team, right? And they've been working in the company for a bit. How do you make that call? Like, is it a difficult decision to just talk to them about,
Yeah, I mean, you if you hired them, you think that they're good at what they do,
Right.
right? So you want it to work. So yeah, I mean, you can't just blindside them and be like, "Oh, you're out."
Right.
You talk to them. You have to explain, why whatever actions or words they said it was wrong. And usually that's enough. Like, if something's wrong or needs work, I mean, you have to let them know. Otherwise, they won't know, right?
100%.
That's on you. But if after you've let them know that what they're saying or doing is, not up to Bravo Tango's values or standards,
Right.
and they still repeat it, then you have to make a tough decision.
Right.
Okay, how do we rectify this?
Right.
And in terms of getting to the point where you might have to let them go, which is not fun at all,
No.
like, that stresses me out. When your good employees start talking around the water cooler, start bringing it up with you that this individual did something wrong, or this individual is kind of bugging me, or they said this in the client meeting, Ben. Like, the more you allow that behavior, the more your good employees are gonna probably leave.
100%.
So when your good employees start talking like that, then it's time to take action.
Now, on the contrary of that, how do you build a culture where people genuinely feel happy to work?
Well, yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier, but first of all, you lead by example. But I think the big thing is just respect and understanding. Like, I understand that you want to leave at 5 o'clock and your weekends are yours. Like, you have a life. I support that. I respect that. And they will in turn respect that, right? The other thing is they just want to do good work. So you have to help them succeed. What tools do you need? What support do you need? How can I help you to do a good job so at the end of the day you feel good about what you did today and you go home with a smile on your face? So that's part of my role too, is helping my team succeed. Not just the clients, but the team, the staff.
100%. And of course you mentioned when the water cooler talks start happening, you know it's time to take action. So if you're comfortable sharing this, what's the hardest firing decision you've had to make? And, how did you know now it's the time? Do you have an example for that to give us?
Yeah, no, honestly, I haven't had to let a lot of people go.
Which says a lot about the business then.
Yeah, we have a lot of long-term team members here. One just celebrated 15 years. We have another 15-year coming up.
Congratulations.
We have another 10-year coming up. Like,
Oh,
in
that's
this
awesome.
business, it's probably like a 3-year average.
Yeah.
That's how easy the turnover is.
Oh, yeah. There's so much turnover. And back to competitors failing their clients,
Right.
or agencies. Like a lot of our competitors have a revolving door, but they keep that hidden from the clients.
What's hidden? Like, do you want to talk about that a bit more?
Well, there's one of our competitors is, they've been around for decades, but we're twice the size.
In terms of employees?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But clients don't know this because they don't see the inside. And so these competitor agencies keep that hidden from the outside world. But being in the industry, I know. And it's like so tempting to be like, I want to tell you something and send you this email. Did you know that such and such agency only has 2 designers? Like, they're telling you they have 10. They don't.
And what stops you? Like, just your morals, your
Yeah.
values?
I
You're
got
like, I
other
don't wanna
stuff
be a
to
snake.
focus on. Like, what am I going to sit there and start emailing
Yeah.
potential clients? Like, that's just not my style.
Right.
I'll just focus on what we're doing today and trust that that'll, spread the good word. And it does.
Because trust me, I know you, but I also know there's like very cruel people out there who are complete shit talkers.
Yeah.
Because what you're stopping yourself from doing just because you have principles, you have morals, you're a good human being. Some people would take that as like the perfect golden opportunity to shit on other people. And it's weird,
it
man.
happens. There's a lot of shit talk out there and people starting rumors.
Have you heard any about yourself? That you're like, damn, what the hell is this?
No, I haven't in a while, but I know that it happens.
Yeah.
And I just trust that my network, my circle knows me. They know what kind of person I am. And
What's the craziest thing you've heard about yourself that you know for a fact, like, okay, this isn't true, but I'm just surprised that people genuinely believe
well,
this?
one thing I've heard, which kind of pisses me off, because it's a whole another thing, but
Yeah.
so I'm a proud Métis person. So my cultural ancestry, I'm Indigenous.
Oh, cool.
And there's a business program out there that helps Métis entrepreneurs with financing. It's low interest loans, right?
Yeah.
But the rumors are, Ben just gets this free money from that institution. I'm like, what? No, that's bullshit. I got a low interest loan to help me buy a computer, a desk, the basics you need to start a
Right.
business. And that's how they support young Métis entrepreneurs. And the low interest part is key. Like, that was like very helpful, not having to pay interest on that. And they make you pay it back over like 7 years. It's not payable like right away. Like, that's super helpful. But I did hear rumors of people saying, he's getting this like funding from the government. It's just free grant money. And it's like, no, that's complete bullshit actually. But
Which is
thanks.
crazy, like, to think that people will use any information to just rip on you.
Oh,
It's like it's probably not the same, but I'm like, this is the example that comes in my head. Like, student loans are cheap, and if a kid is excelling in school, would you just say because his loans are cheaper? Like, this doesn't even make sense to me. Like,
No.
I feel like in the end, okay, you could say, for example, that you get free funding. What the hell is the money gonna do if you don't have the drive for it, the passion for it?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't understand. Like,
okay, maybe it is free in some
Yeah,
other world.
yeah.
You still have to do good work. You still have to work your butt off. You still have to get clients. You still have to produce the product. You still have to build the widgets. Like, okay, maybe you got a head start because of this. It's a long race. So,
And let's be real, they're not, I mean, I get it's the government, they might have funding, but they're not just dropping money for a person who's not going to use it
Yeah.
wisely. Like, even they're
yeah,
smart.
and it's a great, and to be honest, it's a great program that does help
Right.
young entrepreneurs get going. Let's go. Let's build this province. Let's build this network and this
Right.
entrepreneurial ecosystem. Let's do this. We're kind of all in this together. Like,
Right. That's insane.
I had another rumor early on about my political affiliation, which was total bullshit. That was nasty because it was like even John Gormley, who was on the radio at the time, called me out and was like, "Hey, are you affiliated with this political campaign?" And I'm like, no, not really.
Don't you sue people for defamation? Like, why are you talking like that? Have you
Yeah,
ever
I don't
thought?
know what my legal rights were, but I just dropped a few F-bombs and got pissed off and went and got back to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Interesting.
That's insane.
Yeah. I feel like you've covered most of these questions over here. If your agency failed tomorrow, touch wood, I hope it doesn't, what would be the number one reason?
Because of something I did.
Okay.
It always starts and ends at the top.
And you're willing to take full responsibility. You don't even have any other reasons
Here's
to
the
go
other
off of.
thing to your listeners
Yeah,
and watchers. I guess they're watchers, eh?
both.
Both.
There we go.
As the leader, the business owner, and I even say this like, for the longest time, I was the only leader, but now that the company's grown and we have directors that have teams, like they're leaders too.
Right.
When things go right, you give your team praise. When things go wrong, you take the blame. And that's a tough pill to swallow, to go through your working career not getting any praise for anything you do. But when shit goes south, guess who takes the blame?
Right.
And like, so yeah, if our agency failed tomorrow, it's something I did. Like, I don't know if I didn't bring in the right clients, or I didn't pay the bills on time, or I overcompensated for something when I didn't have enough to fill it with. Like, I don't know, but it's something I did. I didn't give my team the tools they needed to succeed.
Right.
Do you think that's one of the biggest reasons that entrepreneurs don't succeed, because they don't take 100% responsibility?
Yeah, it's the only reason.
Right. And I feel like that's crazy because, not crazy, but it's wild that you say that too, because I think that's what every single entrepreneur out there who says the same thing. It's like people, sure, they'll cheer you on your good days and everything. They're like, oh damn, he made it happen. And they'll start glazing you up. They'll start, just like, oh yeah, go Ben or something like that. But when you fuck up, that's when they shit on you. And I feel like that just shows the reality of how people view you. Because it's like they would ignore all the good things that you did, but that one mistake, just like that damn holy shit.
What's that? There's a saying where it takes years to build your reputation, and you can kill it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Have you seen that happen?
Oh yeah.
Cracker Barrel.
What's that?
Cracker Barrel. Remember you giving us an example on how they changed the logo?
Cracker Barrel, the restaurant. Yeah, that's a good branding story about. Yeah, I like that story because it's the power of a brand and how it's a brand that infiltrates your emotional self and and it's your values. And so Cracker Barrel, for your watchers, launched a brand new logo and a redesign of their restaurants, but they didn't ask any of the customers, and the online community just went berserk and saying, this is BS, we miss our old Cracker Barrel. And like the CEO had to backtrack and say, sorry, we'll bring back the old logo, we'll stop doing the restaurant renovations. Like, it was a mess.
Right.
But that's the power of a brand.
So Ben, I think we've already touched on this in a few aspects, but given that you give us like a full on inside look on it, like all of our students as well, because like we mentioned, everybody wants to start. Starting's not the problem, but why do most agencies that start never make it 5 years? Like, how do you get over the five-year threshold?
Well, again, it starts at the top. Like, you got to be ready to put in the work, do the networking, build a great product. You only get out what you put in. And
in these 17 years, did you ever think of like, I won't be able to do this, or I feel like it might be time to pull the plug? Or
yeah, I mean, there are days like that. I mean, early on, there's, there'd be a month where I didn't pay myself because I had to pay the staff. Or I remember early on, I was getting paid I paid myself hardly anything, where my staff needed an actual regular
paycheck,
salary.
yeah.
It's like they were making more than I was. But, I keep that to myself, and they don't care. They just want to get paid, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of sacrifices early on. And like I shared that story about driving my manual
Civic. Yeah.
Civic hatchback with no power steering. Like, have you ever driven a car without power steering?
No.
I've never driven a manual, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how to drive stick.
Yeah.
So there's no power steering, so the steering wheel's pretty hard to turn.
Right,
There's a
right,
stick, so I'm like, you're not drinking a coffee while you're driving those things.
Yeah, you can't just drive one-handed, eh?
But there's sacrifices early on that you have
Right.
to make. Yeah.
Perfect. So I feel like that's a pretty good segment into moving into our entrepreneurship reality. If you could warn someone about the one thing that will suck the life out of them in this industry, what is it?
The ad industry, well, we touched on this earlier, but it's high stress, fast paced, technology and trend driven, which is changing like daily.
Right.
So there's a lot to keep up on. And it's highly competitive.
You know, one thing I've seen is like people, especially in like the creative industry, they are always too late to hop on trends, or always too late to innovate, right? And I feel like that really takes away from, like, they might be the smartest people ever, but they were just a bit too late, or they just didn't adapt in time.
Yeah.
How do you make sure you do that? Because 17 years, man, you probably like went through a lot of ups and downs in
yeah,
terms of
and you
trends,
can also
right?
be too early.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, it can be, because you miss the boat. And so what others do is watch what you do, watch your mistakes, and then when they eventually catch up, they've fixed it or can do it a little bit better. Or the people they're talking to, their prospects, their clients, they finally get that trend, so they're ready to listen. If you're too early, they're like, I don't know, this sounds risky. I don't think we want to do it. But on the flip side, if you're too late, they're like, why didn't you recommend this strategy or tactic to us? Like, everybody's doing it. We should have been doing this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to learn to find that sweet spot. And a lot of companies fail because they were too early, and it's the competitors that came out second who did it better.
Do you have any
faster.
stories like that, where
Well,
a product was like
Apple.
too, really?
The BlackBerry failed because they weren't willing to innovate, and Apple just kind of was watching what they were doing and started shifting a little bit and did things differently, where they involved the developer community to build apps to put into their phone, whereas BlackBerry wasn't thinking like that.
Right.
But I mean, BlackBerry was the OG.
I kind of miss it, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I used to have a BlackBerry phone. Like
I loved my BlackBerry.
Yeah, I really miss
Like, I
it.
love the physical keyboard. Was
Yeah.
to this day, it was nothing beats it.
Yeah, gives you that sleek, like it's like a Rolex. I don't know, especially back then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still have all my Blackberries.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
awesome.
coming back to what you just said about BlackBerry didn't innovate. So Microsoft also got into the smartphone industry. And I remember there's an interview of Steve Ballmer, who was like the CEO back then. And he said that nobody wants a phone without a keyboard. And they were like stuck to it, that we're not gonna switch to touchscreens. And now like they're bankrupt in that industry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they gave up on the cell phones. Yeah.
I really missed that. I don't know if you remember the BlackBerry Priv.
Yeah.
So
That was
it
a good
was
phone.
Yeah, man. It was a keyboard. It was a
slider one,
slider.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a keyboard and a thing. Man,
So
I
good.
really missed that phone. It was a good phone. The
Yeah.
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was too chunky. It was too heavy to carry.
Yeah. So back to the question then, like trends. I mean, there's cycles, and you can look this up. They're on charts, but there's that sweet spot in the middle of not being
Right.
too early, but certainly not being too late. And and it's our job to monitor the trends, the tech, the options out there, and implement them when our clients are ready, or when we think their product or service or messaging needs it.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, when you talk about trends, back then it was the trend of smartphones and then it was just new. Right now we have the trend of AI, right? How would you say somebody should leverage AI, and like how can they use AI?
AI is a great tool. And I know I've seen other agencies, and not just in Saskatchewan, but like throughout. And I'm part of a couple networks where we get together online once a month and talk about the business and the industry. And Most of them are US based, which is interesting.
Cool.
But a couple in that group are like anti-AI. We don't want that in our agency. It's BS and trying to steal our jobs. But I'm thinking, no, it's just a tool. Like back in the olden days of advertising, you would manually sketch out your artwork and
Right.
get that produced. Well, then Adobe comes along and introduces
Photoshop.
their
and stuff,
software
yeah.
tools. Okay, which everyone uses today. You have to use Adobe Creative Suite products to create. But if you're stuck back in the day and refuse to use that software, you're going to get left in the dust. I just compare that to AI now. It's another tool that we use to help us create ideas and develop copy and to brainstorm and do things a little bit faster than,
Right.
I'm not scared of AI at all. Like, we're adopting it and we're learning to use it as a tool. We still use Adobe tools. We use tools for everything.
So, bringing it down a bit more local to like Regina, Saskatchewan, where we're located, what's something unique that Bravo Tango has done that no other ad agency thought of, or they thought like, that's a dumb idea, we should never do it?
Well, one thing I just did, which
Yeah.
no agency I think in Canada has done this.
Oh, there we go. That's even better.
We now accept Bitcoin as payment.
No
Oh,
way.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
And actually, you're the first.
That's awesome.
You're the first to hear this.
So, is it public news yet or no?
No, I haven't made it public until now.
Because to be honest, I think this episode won't, like, it's gonna take some time to like get edited and everything. So I think you might just make it public before it's released.
Yeah, I
So
might.
hey guys, it's old news now.
So what made you decide on that?
Just speaking about trends and watching where the world is going and just trying to get ahead of it, so we're ready to go when, and like a lot of our clients, like we target a lot of different businesses and industries and organizations. Some of them are young, new, fiery entrepreneurs launching a wild business. I don't even know what it is today, but I might get that knock on the door tomorrow. And these young entrepreneurs have grown up with or have learned a lot about crypto and Bitcoin.
100%.
It's in their language and their cultural makeup, right? I want to be ready for them.
I got a question for that, and this is just like more towards like a finance or like economic standpoint. Do you think it would replace the US dollar down the line? Because me personally, like I'm pretty skeptic about this, but I genuinely think that it could overthrow the US dollar and become like the currency out there. Because like I just think, because like the way it's like going, I see a lot of scope of this becoming like an actual thing. Like right now, like people are still like shady about it. They don't trust it, but man, come on.
Yeah, well, it's. I think people are skeptical because they don't understand it, and we don't see it. Like,
Yeah, it's not
I've never
physical.
bought anything with Bitcoin before.
But do you invest in it?
I do. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, what's your reason to believe in it?
Well, I do like that it's a limited supply.
Yeah, there's only 21 million in
Yeah.
circulation, and I think the last halving is going to be in 2100 or something.
And I do like that it's like inflation proof.
And the banking system can't get access of it. So that's just like there's some things that I feel like
and-
why
and
people don't
certain
understand
countries
it.
have adopted it already.
Exactly.
Like it's not like just a couple weirdos on the side here, a couple geeks playing with this digital thing.
Which hey, it used to
it's
be
like-
back in the day.
Back in the day it
Yeah,
was.
exactly.
But now it's being adopted by governments and countries and people and businesses. It's being traded on the major stock exchange.
Yeah, like BlackRock started their own ETF for Bitcoin, which is
There's
insane.
ETFs,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's in the system. And I still think it's very early days.
Exactly.
Very early days.
Yeah.
But it's in the system. BlackRock doesn't start a Bitcoin ETF.
And they know more
Because
than
it's not
everybody.
in-
They know more than everybody. So I
Yeah.
mean, I just think like I even think it's gonna hit $1 million USD. I have
probably.
I have full hopes in it
Yeah.
hitting $1 million USD. I think people should start investing, like even if they haven't, like they have $0 in Bitcoin, I feel like start investing now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a lot of money to buy Bitcoin because you can buy it fractional. You can throw $1,000 at it, and guess what? You own 0.00005 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Good. It's a start.
It's just like the stocks, right? Like now, that's what I love. Like you can buy fractions of like stocks too. So I mean,
Like-
it's the same with Bitcoin.
So as of today, which see, Samsung came out with the Flip. Speaking of innovation, and they were trolling Apple the other day when they launched the iPhone 17.
Yeah.
Because there was like, what are you guys launching? There's no innovation. There's nothing new. Now it's 17, right?
Right.
And then they're making fun because they have the Flip. And
Another phone that reminds me, have you ever owned the Motorola Razr?
back in the day, maybe.
That was my most favorite flip phone. My
Yeah.
mom used to own that one.
Yeah.
And man, it just gave me like nostalgic vibes. My mom used to have the Motorola Razr.
So as of this interview, Bitcoin's trading at $153,000 Canadian for one.
Yeah.
And like, I remember watching it, and it fell below 20,000, and the world was like laughing and, oh, have fun with your Bitcoin, it's about to crash. And it's like,
Well, in 2024, it was 60,000 Canadian. It's doubled in like in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
crazy.
saying. Like, and the thing is, like, people don't understand the halving. It's like basic, like how to say, it's like basic economics. Like, there's
Yeah.
limited supply, and the demand is going through the roof.
Well, and everything's going digital though too.
Yeah,
That's the other
exactly.
thing. Like, Bitcoin or not, like, how often do you pay with cash?
No, I don't even carry cash.
Like,
man.
honestly, do you have any cash on you right now?
No, I stopped. I don't know. I just think it's
It's
inconvenient.
all digital.
It's
So, like,
inconvenience.
Don't look now, people, but guess what? You're using digital currency.
Right.
It's just bits and bytes in the software cloud. Like, nobody uses cash anymore. So we're already going digital. And I know the Bank of Canada's looking at ways of adopting a digital currency. Like, they're
Right.
doing case studies on it and research. Like, there's stuff going on in the background. Like, the world is
Right.
changing. So back to the very point of all of this, Bravo Tango now accepts Bitcoin as payment.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
And we
awesome,
haven't
man.
had anybody pay with it yet, but it's set up and it's ready to go.
And when you say set up, like, how does that, like, how did you make that happen? Like, what do
We
you
have to
do?
set up a corporate account with an exchange, and
Okay. Do you have like a cold wallet for that too? Like, how does that work then?
well, we just have an account with
I see.
a secure and reputable exchange.
Cool.
Do these Bitcoins have banks?
No,
And I think that's the whole point.
that's the whole point. Is they don't deal with the traditional
Banking
monetary
system, yeah, yeah.
system.
So that's like one of my questions. Bitcoin has a limited supply, right? It's more like gold than currency, right? Because
Yeah.
it's more like gold, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a limited supply, and if everybody uses Bitcoin as a method of payment, the whole modern economy works on creating money, right? We create inflation, we create money out of thin air, right? That's how you get mortgages, that's how you get loans. If you don't have that, then how are you gonna create money? How are you gonna, improve the economy?
Well, that's the problem with inflation is they just print more money. And when you have so much of something, it devalues it. So, like, if they only printed $1,000, well, everyone's going to want one of those dollars, and it's going to be pretty valuable. But if the government's like, we'll print another 1,000. Oh, that was easy. Yeah, we'll print another 1,000. And that's what they're doing, and it's like devaluing the physical money that we have.
And that's what happened in like Venezuela back in the day too. Like over there, apparently, like, was it Venezuela or a different country? I forgot. But like,
Venezuela,
yeah,
hyperinflation.
hyperinflation, right? Like
Yeah.
a coffee was costing like $1 million Venezuelan,
Yeah.
whatever currency that is. What that was at? It's like you're basically using that as toilet paper at this point.
Yeah.
The currency.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's insane, man.
it was insane.
Yeah, there's some country.
Hyperinflation,
Yeah, the hype. That's actually scary.
The whole, like, I know we're talking about ad agencies, but like,
Yeah.
everything's wildly expensive now, and buying a home, like, I know some people that are trying to buy a house right now, and it's like, oh, like, you're looking at $600,000 for a starter home. Like, that's wild.
A starter home.
Well, or even a second home, we'll say.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you can
what
get a
the hell?
starter home, sure, for $350,
Yeah.
but that's a lot of money, $350,000.
I feel like that the whole idea of that American dream, it died out a long time ago. I don't think that thing exists anymore.
Oh no,
It's just
it's a
it's a scam at this
facade.
point.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it used to be maybe
Like the white picket fence and the
yeah,
you know, the family could
100%,
afford
man.
vacations and cars and you know and
Yeah. On top of that, they're saving money.
yeah.
Now I don't think that
Now
fucking
it's
exists.
just like our culture is so in debt.
I feel like it's very hand to mouth. Like you're basically living off like paycheck to paycheck because there's so many bills and everything, and there's so
You
much.
should
that
look up how many people have savings and how much. Like it's scary how many don't.
Yeah, you said something about a fact, right? Like only 20%. Or I forgot what your fact was.
So, like, they did a study in America that if you have, I think, $2,000 in your bank account and you don't have any debt, you are richer than 87% of America.
That's a scary fact. Like, how are people going to retire?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How do you think this happened? How do we get to this stage?
Greed. I think it's a huge role. Greed. People want more. Keep it for themselves.
Yeah. It's insane.
And then, like, I think government has a lot to do with it too, especially in the States when they introduce that trickle-down economy, and they're like, we won't tax the rich so that they can build more businesses, and then when they build more businesses, it'll trickle down to everybody. And then, oh yeah, and the Americans bought into it, and they voted in their senator or whatever. Well, guess what? The people at the top weren't trickling it down. They were just stuffing their pockets more.
And now they have more businesses to do it from.
Yeah.
And probably more
Yeah.
trust companies to hide it.
Yeah.
But do you think more businesses create more jobs and more money into the economy?
Yeah, to an extent, but I think that's a little bit of a farce too. That trickle down is what you're talking about.
Right.
Oh, I start a business, people are going to get work, and because they get work, they get paid, and because they
Right.
get paid, they're going to buy cars,
Right.
and this toy and this, and go on vacations, and whoever owns the vacation resort's going to get paid, and it's everybody's getting paid. And it's like, well, not exactly, because things are so expensive, because the people at the top are driving up prices and I think stuffing their pockets. Like the trickle down economy doesn't work.
And also like the layoffs are happening like crazy, man. Like my cousin, he
You
works
think
at
the business owner that's stuffing their pockets and then all of a sudden their product's not selling, so they have to lay people off, or they want to keep stuffing their pockets, so they lay off 1,000 workers.
Yeah. You know, I was
Or do you think they'll say, you keep your job, 1,000 workers, I'll pay myself less?
yeah.
But do you think that is because of the bad business owner? Because you're a business owner and you would never do that, right? Because you're a good person, right? So if we had good business owners like you more in the economy, would that work then?
Possibly. I personally don't think I'm greedy, so I do
Right.
try to share the wealth with the team, and I want people to have raises, and I want them to build a good life in
Right.
our community, and to do that you need more money, so I want to bring in more clients, and when we bring in a bigger client, then everybody can get a raise now, and we do Christmas bonuses, and
Right.
we have money still in the bank, and I've even done Christmas bonuses where we didn't have money in the bank, so we dipped into the line of credit, and
Right.
because Christmas is expensive, and I
It
want
is. Mm-hmm.
people to be able to pay for some extra bills and some extra presents under the tree, and that's the kind of values that we have here at Bravo Tango. But
Right. But I think what you're talking about, right? Like the people, like who are like the top dogs in like the Silicon Valley. I feel like your thing is like that typical ideal world situation, which it's not. Let's be real. Like that's just my take on it. I'm not being like a Debbie Downer, but the people that you're talking about who should be good business owners or who should be like good leaders, they're not.
there's so many millionaires in the States now. Similarly in Canada, but the States is your litmus test. But
Notorious, yeah.
But there's so many millionaires out there now. Like the next back in the day, it used to be like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. The new thing now is billionaire. Like that's the mindset. But like if you have that kind of money and all you do with it is buy more land, more property, more businesses, you're not really building the community. You're building your own wealth.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like what Nikhil just mentioned is like we should have like people like you more who do that. But again, like of course, like like you're that person who's bringing that change forward. More and more people would do it. But I'm just talking from like a realistic standpoint that people don't really give a fuck. Like I'm just talking. I'm just.
No,
I'm
everybody's
just being
in it for
real, man.
themselves.
Yeah, I'm just being real, man. Like
It's
I mean,
a competitive world out there, and
Yeah.
like family first,
Right.
myself first.
Right.
Like, love to help you out, but
Right.
I'm in it for me.
And like
That's everybody's
right.
attitude nowadays.
And especially like when we talk about like the finance world, right? Like these asset management companies like Vanguard, BlackRock, all those analysts and those MDs and VPs, dude, they're like sharks. They will eat you alive and spit you out.
Yeah.
They don't really give a flying shit about, oh, let me just help you out, because the finance like everybody's seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Mhm.
Sure, it's exaggerated at some point, but the idea of Wall Street where people are just like constantly swearing, like that's my money or something.
that-
I think that's very
That
real.
attitude is trickling into other facets.
And that's
of-
real. Like
yeah.
that happens. Like people are sharks. They don't care
Yeah.
that what we have over here as a community and what you're trying to build up over here. I feel like
I
that's
think
getting rare.
One thing I think we've lost in this day and age is community.
Right.
And I know Regina's a great community in Saskatchewan and Canada as a whole, I would say.
Right.
But generally speaking, like people used to know their neighbors' first names, their neighbors' kids. You bake a pie and give it to your neighbor. Like there used to be that community. Now, when you drive up, you press your button, the garage door goes up, you drive in, your garage door goes down. You don't say hi to anybody, you don't see anybody. You stay in your house watching your big 80-inch screen TV. It's just that community bond is thinning out, I think, and I think that's part of the problem.
Right.
Look at this, like kids these days. So when we were young, like I didn't grow up
Sorry.
with internet and social media because I grew up in a boarding school and we didn't have any technology around.
Yeah,
So like in our free time, we would go out with our friends
yeah,
and play,
there's
do
tech-
something.
That
right?
too.
But these
technology.
days, we've got kids who spend 12 hours playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think about that and like the kids that are constantly on social and playing video games, in 10, 15 years, what are they going to be like in the workforce? Or I'm guessing they're not going to be building a company. I don't know. But probably not. Not to generalize, but
Yeah.
Right. And Ben, just one question that I got to ask, and we'll come back. Like it was a good segment to talk about this real stuff as well. But coming back to Bravo Tango as a whole, and this is something that would happen, after. What legacy do you want to leave at Bravo Tango, and how do you want to be remembered?
I think I just want to be remembered as that really good boss I had once. I want somebody to be in their 60s or 70s and maybe they're talking to their grandkids about a tough day at work and they're saying, I had this boss once. He was a really good guy. He respected me, he supported me, gave me what I need. We need more of them like that.
And is that the future, Ben, you're trying to create every single day?
I just want
Or that comes
I
naturally
want
out of
people
you?
to be able to build a life. And if they're choosing Bravo Tango to be their employer, it's my job and I want the legacy to be their family. Like, we built a life in this community. We planted roots and I did it because I had a good job. And if they had a good job, it's because as the founder, CEO, and leader, I built that. If they have a shitty job or they can't afford a life, then that means they're moving on and going to another employer. So I would have failed.
Right.
But that's my goal.
I think just by the fact that you have people who have been with Bravo Tango for 10, 15 years. It just shows that how good of a culture you've built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That just speaks more about the company itself, right? And man, 15 years is not a short amount of time. Like we're
No.
24. That means they started when we were
Goes
9.
by. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think about that things too? Like in the blink of an eye, 17 years just
Yeah,
passed.
it goes by really quick.
Yeah. How do you slow it down? Or I know like time doesn't wait for anybody, but how do you try to like slow it down for yourself?
I don't know how you slow down time. I think it's just making the most of your day. Like, you know, I have a teenage son, so I kind of see this in real time, but he'll sleep in till noon. And then he wants to go to the gym. So by the time he gets up and does his routine and has his pre-workout and his whatever, you know, now it's 3 o'clock. He doesn't get home till 5. He's like, oh, where'd my day go? I'm like, you know, I was up at 8. I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. I stretch the day out. That's the only way I know how to manipulate time, is just to make
Right.
the most of your day. If you're going to spend it behind the video screen, playing games or sleeping, or, you know, then your day is going to go by pretty quick because you just turn 24 hours into 5.
Right. And are
And-
you happy? Sorry.
And I know it's still like a long way, but do you ever think about a retirement?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do after retire?
Well, it's not my style to just sit and do nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, probably volunteer, maybe get a different job where I don't have to stress so much.
Okay.
Take on some community initiatives. Well, I don't know. Do a little bit of travel.
Right.
What's
Find a beach in the wintertime.
what's the travel plan? Where do you want to travel?
No, I've been fortunate in my life, and I've done quite a bit of traveling. I just enjoy it, and I think it opens the mind.
Right.
I think it stirs the creativity. And I believe in it, which is why at Bravo Tango, when you celebrate 5 years, I give you a $500 gift card to the airline of your choice.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
And when you celebrate 15 years, I give you a $1,500 travel voucher. Use it to anything you want that has to do with travel.
Wow.
I want you to travel. I think it's important. I think it opens your mind, expands your mind. I genuinely believe in it. So I want like everybody at BT to travel as much as possible.
Right. That's awesome.
So
And you know, in like all these times until this present moment, how's life been? Happy?
yeah, I got a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and by that I mean I've got a healthy family. I'm healthy. You know, I got a nice home with a nice backyard, and healthy is a big one, to be honest.
Right.
Like if you can check that box, you're doing pretty good. But yeah, no, life's okay, and the birds are chirping, the sun's out.
I remember the reel that we cut out from your previous podcast. Like one of the videos, I don't care what job title you have FCC, but if you're not healthy, it doesn't mean anything, right?
It means nothing. Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
All right. All right. I think it's a good way to end the podcast.
100%.
And
And before we part ways, Ben, of course, like I loved how this episode was shaped today because we touched base over a lot of key factors that I feel like are very necessary for people to understand, especially in this industry, in this advertising and marketing industry, that it's not easy. It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You need to come in with values.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect any free handouts. You have to work for everything you
Yeah.
have. And I love all of that. And I love how you portray that in like a day-to-day aspect. And that's why, again, congratulations on, I'm not sure about their names, but both the employees who had the 15 years and is coming up for the 15 years. See, that's insane because like 17 years for the business, within 2 years you had somebody
Yeah.
who was willing to dedicate 15 years of their life.
Yeah.
and
And,
their
in
time
next
to you.
month we have somebody celebrating 10 years.
There we go.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Not short amount of times, right?
no.
Any final piece of advice for our viewers or listeners, especially like young marketing students who were in your shoes once when you were starting out? Before we part ways, any final advice?
You know what? get involved in your community, network, work hard, try and get your foot into the door somewhere, anywhere. It's a foot in the door. Learn how organizations work, what makes them tick. You're going to see a lot of stuff you don't like. That's fine. Take note of it. And when you go to the next career opportunity, find an organization that doesn't do that. And it just keeps getting better and better. And if you want to launch your own business, then do it. Don't have regrets. You know, I won't say how old I am, but the business is 17 years old, and I had a couple careers before that. There's lots of time. So start, and if you get knocked down, you can get back up. But I don't want you to go through life and 20 years later look back and be like, what if? Coulda, shoulda, woulda, because that sucks. That's not a good feeling. So just do it. But do it right, like you just said. Work hard, you know, be prepared for this.
Oh, 100%. The foundation is extremely important.
Yeah.
And yeah, for like, this is my little message. And I'm going to share this on behalf of Nikhil as well. Trust me, we did not know Ben before. Like when I shot that email first to Ben, this man is willing to listen to you. He's willing to listen to your story. He's willing to help you out. So this is just my message. And I'm not even like saying this because he's my guest and he's in front of me. Just my honest answer about this, that reach out. I'll give you his email personally.
Yeah.
Just reach out, man. He's happy for a coffee chat. He's happy to listen to you. And if you have that drive, if you have that mentality that aligns with him, this man can probably take you some places.
100%. We're all in this together, so
Right.
if I can help you with some advice or point you in a direction or make a connection,
Right.
I will. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining on Little
You're
Perspective.
welcome. Thanks, guys. It's always a good chat.
Awesome. Well, take
Awesome.
care.
Yeah, you too.